Sure I do. Who doesn't?
Good, because this is the right show for you.
Why is that?
Because we're here to shit.
What are we learning about today?
Today, we are learning about... I don't know what actually word this is for, but we're learning about the term vibe that I created.
But vibe is a word, Zach.
Oh no, but it's something completely different. It's spelled differently.
How so?
It's VYBE instead of VIBE.
What the fuck does it stand for?
English is easy.
Okay, what is it? Does it have like an acronym or something?
Okay, so vibe, which is something that I have in my life. I have a tattoo of it actually. It's my first tattoo. Vibe stands for visualize yourself but every day. Now, we have brought this up on the show previously before, like once or so? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we brought it up once before. It was however many episodes ago. I don't exactly remember. But vibe stands for visualize yourself, but every single day. Now, hold on. Let's slow this down a little bit, okay? How about that? Let's slow this down a little bit.
Dial it back.
Yes, let's dial this back. That way it's easier for you guys to understand and comprehend of what visualize yourself but every day actually means. So, what happens when you visualize stuff in your own life?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what happens when you visualize stuff in your own life?
Sorry, I'm kind of a dumbass because I'm the only one here right now. How do I visualize myself?
No, not how do you visualize yourself. Like, what happens when you do visualize something?
What happens?
Yeah, what happens? That's a long thought there, but...
Trying to think. How... I like to visualize... I don't know how to answer this, actually.
Do you need help?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so when you visualize something, either about yourself or someone else, that is your image inside of either someone else's head or your own image against your own self. Does that make sense? Does that help you?
Yeah,
Okay. There you go.
Okay, because, like, there's so many things I could visualize.
So, for example, you can visualize yourself as a complete you can visualize yourself as a complete millionaire or a billionaire, whatever you want. You can visualize yourself as anything you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you have this image inside your head, it's now visualized. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's now in your own reality. Now what happens when something is in your own reality and you visualize it? That's now your main idea. That's now your main focus. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's because you created that own thought. You created your own reality literally inside your own thought. So if you visualize another person as a completely different other person, that's now of how you see that person. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if you're visualizing yourself better every single day, you're visualizing a completely different person from who you are yesterday into a better person tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Visualize yourself better every day, people.
Perfect.
Yeah. And if you just do not want to do that because you don't see a point to, okay, well, then maybe the show will help you do that. Sorry, maybe this show will help you learn to not do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Was that the right wording?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want to get the wrong idea off of that. But yeah, so that's what vibe is, and that is kind of my life motto. That is kind of what I live by every single day, and not only do I visualize myself but every day, I work towards that visualization every single day. And I strive and I grow to make that visualization of myself better every day. It's just a continuation. It's like making your own personal goals on a daily basis for the next day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you're going to work for them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. How do you visualize yourself better every day? Let's turn this into a question. How do you do that for yourself?
How do I visualize myself better?
Mm-hmm. Or if you don't do it now, how would you? On the spot.
I would just try to help people, like just doing what I usually do best. It's just helping people in need that needs help.
How else would you do that though? Like, how are you going to get better at that? How do you visualize yourself helping people? Does that make sense? So not only are you giving the broad statement that you're helping people, you're visualizing, okay, how are you going to do it? How do you want to help people? It's literally like creating like a mini goal for yourself every single day. Okay, but how are you going to do that?
saving their life.
Okay, but how?
If someone drops down, you give them CPR, or I would give them.
So
CPR.
you're just going to a random subway and just like, hey, here's CPR.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's kind of what you're saying.
That's
right
literally
now.
what nursing is all about, though. Is that you see different things every day. You don't know what's gonna come through those doors.
That is true.
So it's kind of hard to visualize what I can do to provide the best care that I can. It's just depending on the situation. Literally on Friday, we had a patient that had a heart attack, I think. And we had to call a rapid. And they had to get like the little AEDs. Or I don't know what the acronym is, but you have to place them on the chest. And then you have to shock them. And then we had to wait for the paramedics to come.
I don't even know what those are called.
What?
The shockers.
The defibrillator?
Yeah, the defibrillators. Thank you.
Yeah, that happened to me. And then on Thursday, we had one that had a fever of 105, which is not good, and you should go to the hospital for that. Because that's literally...
Because normal fevers, aren't they usually like 101, 102, right?
That's like a high fever.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have like a fever of 103 or higher, you need to go to the hospital.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The thing with visualizing anything though is it's an image put inside your head. Does that make sense? Now, if hold on, where do I want to go with this? Give me a moment.
No, you're fine.
For example, if you're visualizing something and you don't know what it is, for example, you want to get better at something, what do you do?
If I want to make itself better?
No. If you're thinking of something but you don't have that much knowledge on it, but you want to get better at it, what do you do?
Just try to learn it.
Yeah, you try to learn it, but how do you learn it?
Could do a couple things. I could research it. Could watch YouTube videos.
There you go. You research it.
Could learn from peers that know it. That like know the things that I want to learn.
So ask around. Yeah. So researching it, does that make sense? Researching it, asking around, just doing everything you can to possibly get that knowledge inside your brain, right? And what happens when you gain more knowledge is you can help out your own visualization. You can help out your own character for the next day. Does that make sense? So let's say you're visualizing yourself better the next day, and you're trying to get rid of a habit that you magically just don't want in your life anymore, right? So you end up looking how to get rid of habits, and then it gives you all the information. It's like, okay, you either have to replace the habit, you completely have to go cold turkey. There's multiple and there's numerous things that you can do differently. Does that make sense? But you're doing all this research to help you out with it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In result, you're making yourself a better person. In result, from that extra knowledge you're getting, you can visualize yourself better than the very next day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's literally, VYBE is literally just a strive for greatness and growth and evolution and being greater in every single way possible.
Be greater.
Yeah, be greater, because once you visualize it, it turns into an action. But you also have to control that. Because you can't just think, oh, I'm going to be a superhero. No. You got to think about like how you're going to turn into a superhero at that point. Does that make sense? But if you visualize it, it's a start. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a good starting point. Yeah. Well, we brought up habits, and it's
On the agenda.
yeah, it's on the agenda today actually. It's kind of funny I brought that up, which is why I brought that up. What habits would you like to get rid of? If you don't mind me asking. If it's too personal, you don't have to answer. We can completely change it. But it's up to you. I just thought it would be a curious question to help someone else out in the world. If you have any.
I have a couple, but one of the things I want to try to not do as much is overthink. Because I overthink every situation, and I'm like still trying to learn how to be better with it.
So are you admitting and saying that overthinking is a habit?
Yeah, it is.
I love you. Yes, that's what we talked about in the last show. I love it. Love to see it. All right, continue.
it's kind of also because of my ADHD, so it's like a little harder because like you overthink everything. Like you literally ball up in a curl and want to do nothing. And there's other days it's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do whatever I want to do, like just do something. But now it's starting to have me be like, oh, I don't want to do anything, I just want to do nothing. And like sit alone with my thoughts. And that's like one habit I would try to help myself with, is try not to overthink as much. Because literally I always do it.
Do you need some advice from that or with that?
Sure, let's hear it.
It could be either on the show or off the show, but for just the sake of we're recording right now and for you guys listening, a good way for me personally, from personal experience of how I helped out my overthinking issues in the past, and I still deal with them sometimes every now and then, of course, is kind of ground yourself in the moment. Teach yourself how to ground yourself. And it's a very deep emotional energy tactic, I would say, because it is. Because in energy, so there's energy flowing through our bodies, right? As there's energy flowing through literally my laptop and everything. Everything is frequency and energy, right? We talked about this a few episodes ago. When you're releasing your energy, you're not just releasing it, you're connecting with Mother Earth. Does that make sense? You're connecting with the ground below you. You're connecting it with the energy around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I taught myself how to connect with the energy around me, and to be grounded with the energy that I am succumbed in, and to be connected with the energy that I'm around in, and not what's inside my thoughts. Does that make sense? Because what's around you is what's actually going on. Does that make sense? It's not in your head. It's like, for example, those Legos. I know the viewers can't see anything, but those Legos over there, the flower pots. It's literally just a bunch of Legos in a flower pot, right? Yeah. Are you going to overthink that?
Yeah.
Why?
Sarcastically.
Okay. But no. But being real though, why are you not choosing to overthink that?
Because it's an inanimate object.
Yeah, it's literally just a bunch of Lego flowers in a pot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now what about that ghost over there? The squishy thing.
The scary ghost?
Yeah, what about the scary ghost over there?
The one that I played with?
Yeah, the one
that you'll hear at the end of this episode. I mean, he's scary looking, but
are you
he's
going to
flesh.
overthink? Yeah, are you going to overthink it though?
No.
Why not?
Because he's an inanimate object.
Are you overthinking me right now though?
No.
Are you overthinking the show while we're recording and having a good time?
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
Because I wasn't prepared for today's episode.
Neither was I, but guess what? I'm still doing it.
We're doing it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the act of I'm still choosing to do it no matter what, and I'll just figure it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anxiety is just a sense of fear and a sense of the future, right? So, just let it go. Just completely rip off your shirt.
Yeah.
just let it go. It seems a little bit harder, it sounds a lot harder than it actually is. But if you just let go of your fears, then there goes your anxiety. Like, that's really how it is. And again, personal experience, and not only is it personal, I've read up on it, and other personal people around me in the past before has gone through the exact same things. And in some cases, those people actually taught me what I'm saying right now to all of you guys. Even you, bud.
Well, thanks, bud.
I love you.
I love you too. Hold on, can we go off track for just a second?
Oh yeah, go talk about.
Did you see that Miranda Cosgrove, who played Carly on iCarly, wants to make a movie
of iCarly?
Of iCarly, for how they ended it? Because do you know how they ended it?
I never watched a new one.
You never watched it?
No, I don't have the.
Oh, you don't have Paramount?
Yeah, no, I don't have Paramount. So I can't even watch Knuckles either.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't have Paramount anymore either, just because it got really expensive for me. But I don't know if my parents have it or not.
Yeah, I got everything basically besides Paramount.
But anyway, do you mind if I spoil it?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in the end, like, I don't know, like, if it's a wedding or if it's a gathering, or it's an event of some sort.
Oh, and how her mom showed up?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that clip.
She wants to make a movie about that, about her mom being there. Because they canceled it after that episode.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of fans are upset.
Because they never brought up her mom in the old show, either, the original iCarly show. They only had her dad or their dad. That's it.
In the last season, I think, wasn't it? Because that was when she moved to Italy with him.
I don't know that.
Oh, I think that's what happens, but I could be wrong. Discord, please let us know. Or let us know in the Discord, I mean.
Yes. Discord link down in the description down below.
Please.
Or I'll even put in the comment section too. How about that? That was in multiple places.
Yeah, just check it out.
Just go to the Discord. That way you can talk to us too.
Yeah, we'll post about it.
Have a good chat.
Yeah. Okay. But that's my little rant. I just was wondering if you knew about that she wants to make a movie about it.
No, I haven't, because I haven't really been on social media. I haven't at all.
Oh, I actually found out like on a news source on like little desktop computer at my work.
I don't even have that.
Oh,
I am.
no, you have a laptop.
Yeah, but I use this for pure work purposes, and that's it. I use this for pure work purposes, and to listen to podcasts and to watch podcasts, and so basically work and knowledge and stuff like that.
I was working and it popped up for me.
Well, my laptop is built differently, but my laptop is just better than your work computers.
Honestly, it is. Our work computers are sold.
Solid. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Case closed. Okay. Finished?
Yeah.
Good. All done. Okay. Back to habits and stuff. Is that all you have, bud?
Yeah.
That's all you have?
Maybe. No, that goes with overthinking a little bit. Just like procrastinating.
Procrastinating is different, but it is in relation to everything.
That's what I meant. Is like it's in the same
I
realm.
mean, it can be.
For me, it
Depends on how you are overthinking, and it depends on how you are procrastinating. It's in the same realm, but it is still different.
For me, it's in the same realm because like sometimes I don't respond to like work messages that I don't feel like dealing with.
So you overthink, and then it turns into procrastination.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying they're different is you have to actually do procrastination.
Yeah.
You have to actually choose not to respond. For your situation, you have to actually choose not to respond. You actually have to choose to put it off to the side. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing from overthinking. So they can be related. It depends on the situation, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're overthinking so much to the point where you eventually just do put it off and you just don't want to do it, okay, you can tie those two together. But if you're just...
Oh, I exactly do that, actually.
Yeah, but if you're just going to push it off, it's like, okay, you are strictly procrastinating right now, and that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like how to respond to messages that I don't know how to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
It just like gets me like that.
Yeah, my current partner has a lot of issues with that, or at least she used to. So I completely get that, and it gets on my nerves.
I don't like do it intentionally. It's just like I don't know how to respond to something, and then I just forget to respond.
Yeah, I get that.
Like I even do that with sometimes with homework. Like I just like wait till the last minute to do it.
Dude, that was like my whole entire high school career, not gonna lie.
Oh, I know it was. I witnessed most of it.
I know, and I just really did not care, because guess what? I still graduated. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing just fine.
The worst day of our lives. Because
Dude,
of the heat.
That day was, I know, even my mom was talking to us about that today. She was saying how she felt bad for us because we were sitting in something the entire time.
I know.
But yeah, anyway, habits. We're getting off track.
Yeah. Do you have any habits that you would love to get rid of?
I'm getting rid of a lot of them right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
My uncle, not going to name who, but my uncle, he called me a few days ago early morning and woke me up, actually. And it was 9 in the morning, actually, not super, super late at all. Like, barely even sleeping in.
Time.
Yeah, barely.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote normal. Depends on who you are. It was, it was a decent time, but it's not like I'm heavily sleeping until like 10 or 11 that day, But he called me at 9:08, 9:10, something like that, 9:15 or so. And then he's like, "Did I just wake you up?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, I did. I know you did. I know I did." And then he's like, "Well, why are you sleeping in until 9 o'clock? You were supposed to be up like 2-3 hours ago. You could have started your day at sunrise." I'm like, "Yeah, I could have, but I'm asleep, right?" I'm sleeping. This is my way of doing it. And anyways, a whole phone call, and he was telling me that basically that I could be doing better in my life, and I could be changing a lot of ways, and I could have a schedule, and I could find other ways to actually take care of myself a lot more. And he sent me this video, and it wasn't just a random YouTube video. It was a talk from the 90s. I can't remember this dude's name, but he's a older philosopher person, and he traveled the world back in the 90s and early 2000s and throughout his career, basically, right? And he's a teacher. He's a teacher, professor, He's a teacher and a professor, and he teaches a bunch of people random stuff. And when I say random, like philosophy stuff, like mind stuff, like how to help the person change themselves for the better. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I watched the video. It's like a 50-minute thing. And I learned a lot, and I really did, and I appreciated it. But I appreciated the phone call even more. Does that make sense? Because it's the sense of, I knew for a long time that I was supposed to do these things, and that I wanted to do these things, in which I'll call them out. I was supposed to do these things, and I had been wanting to do these things for a while, but I just never did. Because I was like, okay, whatever. I just want to live my life. But the thing is, if I'm always striving for greatness, and if I'm always striving to get better, why don't I make a schedule? Like, why don't I actually do it the best way possible? Because I thought I was doing a good job before, but I actually wasn't. And I say I'm always doing a great job, and I say I'm always doing these amazing things, but I compared to even the past 3 days, that was nothing compared to even a week ago, dude. Like, it's an insane new level for all you viewers, and even Chase over here as well. I made a list. Me and Chase were talking about this before the show, and like I told him, I'm going to tell you, all you viewers now, I don't remember all the steps that I gave myself currently off the top of my head, but that's because I wrote them in the notebook at my house currently. So they're away from me, and I don't have contact to them right now. I'll reach to them. But I will name off of a few that I do remember that are very important to a part of the day. And this is a daily schedule that I have to do. It's not, okay, you have to get this done between this time of day, between this time. It's like, as long as
whenever throughout the day.
As long as I get them done throughout the day, that's all that matters. Like, I have a bedtime, I have a morning routine and a nighttime routine, and all this stuff, right? And the only person who's telling me not to do this stuff, if it ever happens, is me. Which, the way I think about it is, if I'm choosing not to do this stuff, I'm choosing not to grow up. Not only not to grow up, but only not to learn. And choose to evolutionize myself and visualize it myself, but every day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I'm doing that to my own self. Even if it's not on purpose or not on accident, I'm still doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I have to take accountability for that. Which, this is my own way, and my uncle will help me realize this. It's myself taking accountability for myself and my own growth. Just even 9 steps further, apparently. So I'm just going to name off a few that I do remember off the top of my head, and like I said, I don't have them right now. I have a morning routine, so that's step 1, okay? Something for the soul, and something for the soul could be meditation, writing, creating, coloring, and any sorts of sense that helps you kind of relieve yourself. So meditation, letting go, and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
And then something for the body, so like a physical activity or something getting your heart rate up. Does that make sense? So in my matter of speaking, going to the gym. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I'll get into the habits thing later and how this all correlates, but it's a whole thing, okay? And then something for the mind. Something for the mind could be, watching a podcast and taking notes, watching a documentary and taking notes. It doesn't even have to be taking notes, but I just say taking notes. That way it's just there and you're actually, teaching yourself even more. And then something for, I'm trying to remember the rest of them. Do you remember what I told you?
Those are something for the mind, something physical.
Something physical, something for the soul.
Nighttime routine,
morning routine. So wake up routine. There's 9 in total. We only have 5.
I think those were the only 5 you told me, because you gotta remember the other 4.
I think it was. Anyway, I'll clear this out, that way it's all not blah 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 whatever, and that's for us. But yeah, I'm doing all these things every single day to help me to get past all my other habits. Does that make sense? So this is how it relates to the habit thing that you asked me. So the habits that I was trying to break and that I am trying to get out of is eating unhealthy. Like I want to break out of the habit of eating unhealthy, and I'm doing that. I really am. So I eat a lot of hot Cheetos, for example, and donuts and all that, and basically eating unhealthy, right? I want to get out of that. I hate it because I hate how I'm treating myself in the moment when I do, and I hate the aftermath. If you know what I mean. The stool's not good. It's not. It's like a volcano erupting. Anyway, getting rid of unhealthy food and replacing it for healthy food, and this is part of that as well. Listening to bad music. That's another one I want to do too.
What in terms of bad music do you mean?
Bad music in the sense of people who only talk about bad stuff in the world and cruel for our body. So, for example, drugs. Does that make sense? Because everything, and we explained this in a few episodes ago, everything that we consume, we become. Does that make sense? It's when we've heard this since we were little kids, but it's literally the cold-hearted truth. It's literally how it is. So getting rid of bad music and even movies as well. Replacing movies and normal TV shows with documentaries and podcasts.
What about TV shows about like rehab or rehabilitation from like whatever addiction said person has?
I wouldn't call that a bad thing at all, and that's a very good question. I wouldn't call that a bad thing at all because you can still learn something from that, right? You can still learn from other people's quote unquote. Oh, I'm not even going to say that word. You can still learn from other people's doings. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't call that bad. I mean, maybe the idea of it's bad that you're going out and doing drugs and shit. But the idea of you learning something from another person, from the experience that they are choosing to have, to make your own experience better and or worse, that's your choice. Does that make sense? So that's another thing that comes down to how you want to choose to experience life. So perspective. Does that make sense? So that was a good question. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I answered that question in a very long way, but I wanted to correlate it because I wanted to get into how I'm replacing habits first and making myself better, and then reach into those habits. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I understood what you were trying to do.
Yeah. It was just a very long process of how I did it as well.
No worries there. It's good to mix it up. Like, explain how you're going to do it, and then explain what your bad habits were. Or, like, your habits were, I mean.
Yeah, and I would still even call them habits, which is why I'm saying getting out of it, you know what I mean? It takes a little while. Like, even, for example, I've been doing this mission for 3 days. This is my third day now and counting, right? And I failed miserably yesterday. I had hot Cheetos, I had a donut, I had a cookie, and I felt so miserable, dude. Like, I really did. I felt so miserable.
Balance.
And dude, I haven't had soda all week. So I stopped drinking soda even before this thing.
Nice.
Which is also another habit I was trying to get rid of. And I have done it this past week, and I have accomplished that so far. A week gone by.
I feel like I haven't really been into caffeine like the last, like, however old I was. Probably like when I turned, I would say like 19 maybe. I really stopped drinking caffeine, just like, not because I wanted to stop drinking caffeine, it's just like sort of happened. Or I've been drinking more of water and like, okay, what else is there? Like, I've been drinking water, I've been drinking like those like Propels, Gatorade, like the electrolyte Gatorades, not like the regular ones.
Yeah.
I've been drinking more of those because I noticed like it really helped with my hydration, and it also helped with my anxiety.
Yeah, that's good.
So like that's like, I guess you could say like that's a habit that I stopped like unintentionally because I didn't do it intentionally. Like, it just happened.
Yeah. But yeah, with what we're talking about too, another big thing, I can't remember what exactly my uncle said, and I'm not going to try and quote him, but I'll just say something to my memory of what I do have,
Like,
try my best to explain it. Yeah, along the words, and I'll try my best to explain it. Try my best to say it. If you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to grow up? Does that make sense? You know, something like that. And it's kind of like whatever you consume, you're going to become. It's kind of like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get past older, and if you're affiliating with your life with bad stuff, so for example, if you're consuming a bunch of random bad juju all day long, for example, hot Cheetos, like I said, donuts and cookies all day long, every single night, like on basically like habit at that point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You're not treating yourself fairly, and you're not treating yourself good. So why is your body going to give you something else in return? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's basically like that. So if you do I'm not going to say my exact steps. You can make your own thing and you can design your own method. But as long as you're working out every single part of your body, both internally and externally, you'll grow, regardless. So mind, soul, muscle connections, physical heart rate, you know, all these different things, you're going to grow as a person. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then the world around you is going to work with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you're part of this world, and we're universe, just as the universe is the universe. It's all associated.
Wow.
Well,
I know. I've been learning about the circadian rhythm, and I actually did an assignment.
what the hell is that?
I'm glad you asked.
This is so new to me. What the hell is the circadian rhythm?
So it's your sleep cycle, or like throughout the day. So circ is like around, and then dadian is day, like
So-
Greek.
Is it circadian rhythm or
Circadian, ADIN.
Circadian? Okay.
So I learned this in my physiology class, actually.
Mhm.
And I did an assignment. Oh, I don't have my iPad with me. I'll show you after the episode. But anyway, did a project, or not like a project, but an assignment for my circadian rhythm, where I tracked down like my sleeps, like what time I went to bed, what time I woke up, if I had any like sleep disruptions, like if I woke up in the middle of the night for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if like I had to pee in the middle of the night, that would be technically a sleep disruption. And then if I had like a slump, or like if I was like tired and I took a nap.
Yeah.
And my 3 days, so I did Thursday night, Friday night, and last night. On Thursday, I went to bed around 11, and I woke up at 6 o'clock for work, and that was 7 hours of sleep.
Mm.
I had no sleep disruptions, no slump. And then compared to Friday night, I didn't go to bed till like 1:30, woke up at 11, and like 0 disruptions, or no, I had 1 because I forgot to turn off my work alarm. And then like no naps throughout the day. So no matter like how much sleep, or I notice like how much sleep I get, like I don't take naps like I usually do. I don't, like I have like a good night's rest.
Dude, that's what I'm doing too. Part of my thing.
It's crazy. It's because like I don't have a sleep schedule either. Just like whatever amount I sleep, I sleep.
Just whenever you're tired,
Yeah.
you just fall asleep. See, that's what I've been doing my whole entire life until now.
And it's crazy to learn about, like, because like I never heard of it before I started my physiology class. You clearly never heard of it.
So it's literally just a
It's
sleep cycle, basically.
It's a day cycle, pretty much. If like, so like
How, like, correct me. So it's basically how you're functioning during the day apart from your sleep cycle and the result of your sleep cycle?
exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So like usually like around 5 o'clock is like when we start like becoming like tired. Like,
Yeah.
Like it's like a normal thing for the cycle. And then 9 o'clock is like generally the time's like, okay, we should start going to bed soon. And then around like 7 or 8, I think, I could be wrong, is like, it's like, hey, why aren't you up? Like we should be up right now, because that's generally when the sun rises. And the sun rises is like usually like how we wake up.
Yeah.
Unlike me, where I have to have an alarm because I wake up before the sun comes up.
Especially in the wintertime.
Especially in the wintertime.
I understand that completely.
And it's miserable. But now since it's summer, it's like light outside. Like not sunset yet or sunrise yet, but like it's starting to become sunrise. And like the sunrise is when I get to work, and it's nice. I love it when it's like that. I know it's crazy to think about how your sleep rhythm can affect your whole day.
Dude, I know. I'm gonna speak on my own experience from that and exactly what you're talking about. I just didn't know there was an actual term for it. It's really interesting. Thanks for sharing that and teaching me that. I have been going to sleep by 11 p.m. every single night at the latest.
Nice.
The last night I did fail at that, and that's literally just because I was being exposed to blue light.
Oh.
Yeah, blue light. That's also part of my bedtime routine is staying away from blue light, but I got exposed to it, and well, blue light makes you stay up. Blue light's not good for you. So all the cell phones and all the TVs and all the laptops and all that bad juju, that's not good for you. It's heavily affecting your sleep, and it's keeping you up even more. It's keeping you more wide awake, keeping you more controlled, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I fell asleep around midnight, and I still woke up around like 8 o'clock today. I woke up at first at 6 o'clock because that's what time I'm trying to wake up. To trying to train myself to wake up every day. But then I fell back asleep on accident. Wasn't intentional. And I woke back up at 8, which is my normal wake up time, usually other than that in the past. And well, let's just say today I am not as happy as I have been the last few days because I wasn't getting the sleep I normally would be. Does that make sense? But yeah, so I'm usually trying to fall asleep anywhere between 10 and 11 at the latest.
Nice.
And when I woke up at 6 o'clock that first morning, I felt amazing. Like I was actually really, really happy. But like you said, I first started getting tired around, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that. Dude, it was crazy. I haven't felt that way in a long time, and I was getting ready to go to bed at like 9 o'clock like usual, and writing in my journal and writing stuff down for the day and what I have, what I eat, and my normal bedtime routine stuff and what I'm trying to get myself to do. But yeah, anyway. It's very different, and I just didn't know there was an actual term for it, so that's really cool.
I'll show you after the episode of like the notes for it. So if you want to see like the actual cycle, or I could probably look it up on Google and show you.
Well, while you're looking that up, I have a question for you, Ben. Yeah. Describe, in your opinion, how would you describe a world in 1 year? Oh, what's this?
That's the chart.
Oh, this is the chart?
Yeah. So like 2 o'clock is like when you're in your deep sleep. And then we'll post this picture on the Discord if you guys are curious about this too.
Interesting. This is really cool.
I know. So I actually have to do a thing called the POPs project for my lab class. And then I'm actually going to do the Circadian Rhythm for my what's it called, like my subject or yeah, whatever. But for my project, and I'm actually thinking, like, I have a couple ideas, and one of them is like, if you eat like a snack like an hour before you go to bed, like how it affects your circadian rhythm, like how does it affect how you wake up or when you wake up. That's just like an idea that I have, but I'm trying to get like a group project so we can do it together. But that's just like an idea I have.
That'd be good because I'm curious about that too. You're giving me a step to do more research about it.
Yeah,
thanks
you're
for
welcome.
That. Appreciate it. More knowledge and more learning. Love it.
Well, your question was how would I describe the world in one word?
Yes, our world.
I have two in mind.
Okay,
A or B?
Both.
Oh, both? Okay.
Just say both.
One of them is catastrophic, and the other is disaster.
Just disaster?
Yeah. This world is a disaster. How would you describe it in one word?
Apocalyptic.
You got it in the first try.
Oh, I said it correctly this time. I was having a struggle earlier saying that word.
You and I both were, though.
Previously. I know, it took us a good few times to say the word apocalyptic.
Yeah, there it is.
I just did it again. Messing up my PPs.
Your peepees.
My PPs, messing up my PPs and my syllables. Syllables are hard.
Syllable.
Why would you describe our world in those two words that you chose?
Just all the news, the outbreak of like Russia and Ukraine. And that's a disaster. Back in 2001 when the U.S. stormed Iraq for the 9/11 attacks, even though they had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Iraqi war, disaster. World War II, World War One, all the world wars, disaster. This, ever since the Pilgrims came to the U.S.
Okay, but how far back are you dating disaster, though? Because you can even do that even clear back to the last ice age, or even until now. That's
Yeah, but like, for my
Okay.
example, it's from present to 1600s. Just like my prime example. Because that's when, no, even further, back to the 1400s when Christopher Columbus went to freaking wherever he was in South America and took slaves.
okay. In today's day and age, how about what's the rephrase? In today's day and age, how would you
Disaster.
disaster? Okay, there we go.
COVID-19 pandemic, disaster. The Russian-Ukraine war, disaster. Poverty, world hunger, disaster. Natural disasters like the tornadoes that's been happening on the East Coast, the Southeast Coast. It's just a disaster of what the world is coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things are happening.
True.
Did you see the tornado that hit like Oklahoma or something like that?
Dude, there's been tornadoes everywhere recently.
Yeah, true, but
Like literally everywhere. There's been a bunch in Idaho. There's been a bunch in Texas. Like you said,
Tennessee,
Oklahoma. Everyone in the eastern part of the country.
southeastern,
Yeah.
guy. Feel bad for them out there. Hope if you're listening from there, hope you're surviving, thriving.
Goes on a lot.
Yeah. Hopefully the Federal Foundation for Natural Disasters helps out. I don't know. What
It's
their
just a matter of
acronym
how
is.
much they do. That's the real debate.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
just the real debate. Is a matter of how much they do help out.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like more local, like
It's more of a local thing than trying to rebuild
Emergency.
a community. Yeah.
the emergency departments help out locally more
Yeah.
than the actual federal government, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I would say. Are you done?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry, I was
so-
gonna ask you.
Yeah, I don't mean to be rude, but I
No,
just
you're fine.
bluntly ask. Yeah, I would say my word apocalyptic.
Yeah,
Apocalyptic.
there we go.
I would say that word for our world now, because if you look at the ocean, I can give hundreds and even thousands of different examples, but I'm just going to name off a few big ones. Okay, in terms of ocean creatures, in terms of the ocean life, we are literally flooding our trash in the ocean.
Yeah,
In terms of rivers, which do eventually connect to the ocean and lakes upon other stuff, we're literally putting chemicals into it. Our own human man-made, our own man-made chemicals into the ocean. So other wildlife. Does that make sense? We're putting a bunch of different, I don't know, man-made stuff. And that's just for wildlife. Does that make sense?
yeah, the economic system,
Yeah, and we're taking all the oil.
ecosystem. Sorry,
Same difference. Does that make sense? Oh no, one's money.
No.
Yeah, one's money.
yeah, ecosystem is what I meant.
Ecosystem. Yeah, my bad. That's my fault too.
No, you're fine. We were both wrong.
Yeah, but we're taking all the oil out the planet too. But if it's in the planet, wouldn't the planet need it to live and survive? Because it's literally built into it,
Yeah,
and we're just taking it,
you would think.
which we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years.
I wouldn't say thousands.
You sure about that? When did they start gold mining? I guarantee you they found
in the
oil
1800s,
in the 1800s. Okay, so what? Nearly 2000.
hundreds of years.
Nearly 2000s of years. 2000 years. Nearly. What'd you say?
I would say
realistically.
hundreds.
You think hundreds?
I would say hundreds only because you didn't really we didn't really use oil till the Iron Age, like the 1800s, like
Oh, really?
with economics.
I thought it was way before that. Anyway, oil. So hundreds of years, right? That's just another thing for on top of the surface. That's one thing. Another thing is we're not combining consciousness. We're separating each other from one another. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's another thing too? I say apocalyptic because we're in battle with so many in different countries, then we don't even realize we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's also and my support to that is what country in the entire world has the most laws?
I would only say China because...
No, the U.S.
Is it the U.S.?
Yeah, it's the place we live in right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's the
That's
U.S.
scary.
Yeah, it's the U.S.
I only thought China only because of, like, their government there. But who do I know?
What's the, in terms of countries around the entire world, how much of the population has gone to jail the most?
The U.S.
Yeah, the U.S.
Funny enough, I went to San Francisco in the beginning of the month. Went to Alcatraz and it, like, literally showed me data of, like, countries that had the most incarcerations.
Mm-hmm. And what part of the entire world has the most amount of homeless people?
The U.S.
The U.S. In what part of the entire world does people not have less knowledge of anything in the world?
The U.S.
Yeah, the U.S. You can literally name the U.S. just about for anything. And I'm not calling out the U.S. I'm not calling out our government. I'm not calling out anything. I do that for a lot of things, but in this situation, I'm not. I'm just saying as a whole, and that's just one example. I don't know much about other countries, but if our country is doing it, I bet there's other things around the entire world too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just our country; it's everywhere else too.
But also the other thing is that most of incarcerations have been more of drugs than actual violence. Because look at this.
Well, I know our crime rates have actually got down. If you're looking at in terms of safety for the U.S., we're at the lowest.
I know. I'm just saying, like, pointing out that most incarcerations are more drug related more than violent related. But still, I get your point.
Yeah, but yeah. But this is true though for what Chase is showing me, and that says robbery. Are these rates violent crimes?
Yes.
Okay.
So the red is violence, the white is drugs. This will also be in the Discord.
Yeah, so it says here in terms of viewers and listeners, robbery rates 212,000 versus, and for drugs 448,000. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
In the red on the left side, rape and sexual assault 168,000 compared to property related 394,000. Adult murder manslaughter 430,000 compared to public order 348,000. And when is this printed by in years? Like what's the year that's printed and dated for?
2020.
Oh, so in 2020.
As
so
of 2020.
As of 4 years ago. And I'm sure I don't think the number's really gone up a lot in 4 years.
I don't think so either.
But anyway, so let's just say that number as of 2020. Yeah, I would say even apocalyptic because we're not here to help each other. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? We're all divided. Mm-hmm. even though our national anthem we're here as one, basically.
United as one.
Yeah, united as one.
Yeah.
I don't think so at all.
No.
I really don't think so.
Yeah, literally the title of it is All U.S. Incarcerations by Crime Type 2020.
Yeah, realistically, if we're looking in terms of crime rates and people who's healthy, and when I said that we're the lowest right now, I'm meaning that this is the best the U.S. ever is in terms of numbers, in the sense of crime rates and personal health issues and stuff like that. Like, this is the safest we've ever been inside the U.S.
Here's also another picture.
All right, Chase is showing me the world's largest prison systems. 1 in 37 adults in the United States is in prison or jail, or on probation or parole. And this is by Adam Gelb.
Does it have a year on it?
You might have to help me look for that one. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
It says the U.S. rate of incarceration is the highest in the world. International incarceration rates per 100,000. U.S. 698. And Russia is in second place, 439.
That's a big gap. Like a really big gap.
I'm assuming that's dated 2020 or 21.
Hold
on.
2017.
2017, so that's almost 10.
Still.
Dude, almost 10 years ago, but still.
And then compared to the rest of the world, 2.1 million people are currently incarcerated in the U.S. That is 153% more than Russia, 505% more than Brazil, and 550% more than India. That's crazy.
Yeah, apocalyptic is what I would say. Because now we're throwing all this, and like I said, I'll bring this back up to the trash in the ocean. As we're throwing all the trash in the ocean, all the chemicals, it's melting all the ice. It's melting it's killing all the animals. It's killing all the livestock. We're making animals and more creations that the Earth and the universe has given us. We're making all that go extinct.
Yeah.
And we're literally reshaping our Earth. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to guess what country's lost?
China?
No. Close to China, kind of. Geographically. It's an Asian country, yes.
And what is it?
It's India. Do you want to guess how many they have?
60.
Divided by 2?
30?
Yeah, they only have 30.
Again, this is 2017, so a long time ago, but still, though.
Still.
That's a low number compared to the U.S., bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the picture for the... You want to know what that big black one is?
Sun?
No. That's the U.S. For...
In terms of... I thought I was looking at the solar system, bro.
Oh, no. Compared to this. So, this is the data.
Can
This
you
is
post
the
all these
picture.
in the Discord?
Yeah.
That
yeah.
way, yeah, whoever's in it can see it all, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
So, yeah, like that big black one is the U.S. Brazil is so tiny compared to it. And then... There's little India right there.
Dude, those little balls down there. Oh, my lord. That's terrible, man.
It is.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Hit your foot.
You're fine. I know. Sorry to get off track there. I just think this was really interesting.
I would still even call that in terms of apocalyptic, then.
Would you?
I mean, yeah, because we're doing harm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, we're literally creating our own laws in which we think are good, but are they actually good, though?
No.
Like, a lot of them.
No.
You know what's kind of funny? I realize is a lot of our laws relate back to religion.
They do. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the U.S.'s laws, and even in some states, a lot of laws around the world relate to religion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not even just random numerous thoughts. It relates all back to religion, most of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's scary.
It really is. I'll post them in the Discord now before I forget.
Well, Chase is adding stuff to the Discord. I have a random question about... I thought of this a week and a half ago. I was meant this for the last show, but... Again, a random question. I don't even know how I feel about this yet.
Okay.
But in today's day and age, do you think kids are okay to grow into the age of technology because it's so implemented into the world now? Or do you think that kids should be raised how we kind of were, in the sense of, okay, technology...
Balance.
Yeah, like a balance thing. Like, you still have to be a kid, but technology's now in the world. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that we have to strive them to just, here's a tablet, learn everything on your own?
So I personally would... Sorry, this is going to take most of my energy. I would personally give them a cell phone. But hear me out. I would give them a flip phone, because that's what I had as my first phone. So you can message me. If you ever need anything, call me, because I would like to stay in contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could even give them like a cheap iPhone and do like parental lock on it, probably.
Yeah, but there's ways to get around that. There's a ways to get around everything, though. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
It's such a technological based world now that is it the normal thing that you have to do,
That's true.
or is it now, or do you still have to kind of fall into the, okay, I'm not going to give my kid a tablet until so and so 10 years or age or whatever.
So I would give them a flip phone in elementary because that's what I had.
Mm.
And I think it worked out great.
Yeah.
Because in case anything happened, like, I can call whoever I needed to, and then they can help me.
Yeah.
So I think as a first phone, as a flip phone.
Mm.
And then when they get to middle school, I think they can use a tablet, and then they can do their schoolwork on there. Because I use a tablet for my schoolwork, and it's fantastic. I love it. And then if I feel like they're ready for like an iPhone, then I would give them. And then I would try to balance like their screen time. Because that's something I can work on myself that I'm like significantly improving is my screen time.
Mm.
The only time I use my phone is for research. Like if I'm on my tablet, instead of like going like through different tabs, I'll just use my phone in one hand for my homework assignments like research, and then write down notes on my tablet.
Dude, my screen time's down now to 3 hours average per day, and that's all. Most of it's from my laptop.
I think mine is like 3 hours too.
Like if you're looking at percentage from my phone, I can probably pull it up. Most maybe 45 minutes of the day is from my phone, maybe if that. The rest of it is from my laptop or a really small part of it.
Right now, my phone's at 1 hour and 52 minutes, but 33 of them was from the notes for like looking at the questions for the podcast.
Okay. So in terms of my phone, my daily average is 1 hour and 30 minutes. And most of that is from Facebook, but that's because I'm associated with a lot of car group chats and I'm the top communicators in there. Mm-hmm. And my notes for, the show that you're listening to right now and the show that we're hosting for you. And then Instagram, and then Discord, and then, other text messages. Instagram is for my portfolio, which is for my photography, which is something else I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And then Discord for gaming, of course. It's always gaming, man. Always gaming.
You gotta have a little bit of it.
Yeah, bro. You gotta have a gamer life. We're gamers. Are you a gamer?
Yeah.
Are we gaming?
Yeah. Hell yeah, we are.
Hell yeah, we're gaming.
We're gamers.
We're gamers.
But we're the gamers that actually touch grass, so that's different.
That actually have a life.
Yeah.
And don't drink. That aren't Kyle's and just have Monster and pizza and what are the memes that have monsters and what else did they always have?
The Kyles that always have monsters and Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell. Was it really Taco Bell?
I don't know, but I know that's a huge stereotype.
Oh, Doritos.
Doritos,
yeah,
that's what it is.
It was Doritos, Monster and Doritos. We ain't those type of gamers.
No. Our parents may have felt like that, but when we were younger, but realistically, no. We actually did things outside. We used to actually go to the gym when we were in high school. Instead of playing video games right after school. We actually did outdoor activities.
I was bad with gaming when I was a kid, though, man. I was bad.
But you only did it on the weekends, though.
No, well, that's because the only time I had to play games. That's the only chance I got.
Yeah, but still.
That's still a lot of wasted time compared to the other stuff I could have been doing and would have been smarter to do at the time.
It's the past.
It's the past, though. I've learned.
What's done is done.
I've learned from my past, but still, though.
No, I think those days were fun as hell. Like staying up till 3 a.m, getting in trouble by my step-grandmother. Yeah, those were the good old days.
The good old days. Well, Chase is adding stuff to the Discord right now. We're going to call the show.
You never gave your answer to the technology.
Do you want to hear my answer?
Yeah, I do. Of course, we all would love to hear your answer. I know you'll make it quick. Hopefully. Just kidding. Take as much time as you want.
God damn. That's a very tough question.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is going to be technology based, even school now. And I feel like COVID kind of started that.
Oh, for sure.
So in terms of school, you can now the school system is giving kids to learn everything online or virtually, or everything in person. So in school, did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, of course you do. You're in college. But yeah, the school is literally giving kids and students that option now. So it's going to be everything else that way. So yeah, and if you're letting your kids purely learn stuff, I feel like it's a good idea to let them have laptop time or computer time or anything like that, right? Let them know that. I believe, again, this is all my belief system. I feel like that it's a good idea to give your kids computer time and tablet time just to purely learn stuff and to purely for their own growth and to learn that it's a tool, purely a tool, and strictly and only a tool rather than just a way to waste their life away and a way to kind of escape and a way to kind of block everything else out and a way to neglect other things. Does that make sense? So a way, and like you said, even for a flip phone, of how it's purely only meant for calling and texting. Does that make sense? It's meant for a tool. Does that make sense? It's a tool for you to use in case you got in trouble, in case you had a question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's literally, I feel like it's in newer technology days, it's going to turn into that. That's what I feel like it's going to be, and I feel like that's what it is now.
For sure.
Is you literally have to. You basically almost are forced to give kids nowadays, for other teenagers who are now having kids, you basically are forced to give kids, your little Padawans.
Love that reference because you've been watching so much Star Wars and it makes me so happy.
I finished the series, man.
I know.
I finished it. I never saw that last movie, and it was so good. I respect your opinion of why you think it's the best one.
The last one?
Yeah, for the newer ones, at least.
Yeah, I would say that one, then The Force Awakens, then The Last Jedi was just awful.
The Last Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like that one?
No. I didn't like it.
I know. I didn't know how I felt about it either. But dude, I know this movie came out years ago. But when Rey used her lightning, bro, I was like, oh, she's a pound of tea.
Did you figure that she was a Palpatine as soon as she used the lightning?
Yeah. I was like, because the only other person in the whole series who uses lightning is literally Palpatine. That's it.
I mean, Dooku did too. In the Attack of the Clones when he shocks Anakin.
You're not helping me here, bud.
I'm just saying, Palpatine's not the only one. But he's the most memorable one.
That's my point. He is the one who had the most power. Does that make sense? But Rey is also drawn to the dark side a lot of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That she's choosing the light.
I'm glad you recognize that too, because I didn't know if you would, but I'm so happy you did.
Of course, thank you.
It makes me so happy.
I'm so good.
I'm so happy I can now call you a Jedi Knight.
I'm a Jedi Knight. I'm considered.
You're no longer a Padawan.
I am no longer a Paddy.
If you want to be Master, now you gotta watch the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch.
Badge?
The Bad Batch?
Did you see that they're making an Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
They already have one.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay, they're making a Lord Vader series now.
Ooh, I'm excited about that, actually.
They're making their whole spin-off just on Lord Vader.
So, do you know when it's set, by chance? No?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
I think maybe 2025 or 26.
Oh, I meant like when it's set in the show.
Oh, no clue.
Okay, no worries.
No.
I'll research it then.
Yeah, no clue. I just saw it this morning, actually.
Ooh. So excited. I honestly think Vader needs his own series because we want to see what happens between Revenge of the Sith and
You want my personal opinion?
Rogue One. What? Yeah,
They're driving on Star Wars for way too long.
they are. I will admit.
They're driving on Star Wars way too long, bro.
Lucas should never have sold it to Disney. In my opinion.
Dude, Disney's just like Fortnite. And you know what's funny too, now I say that, is they're associated with each other.
Yeah.
Dude, they bought out part of each other.
I know.
They both did with each other.
I think it's so funny.
So it's funny that I say that. It's ironic, but
It is irony.
But still, dude, even related back to Fortnite. So again, gaming people, you guys will know this. Even non-gaming people, Fortnite's a big thing. Everybody knows who it is now in the entire world. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows who it is. Fortnite, all they care about is making money and hosting a good thing and hosting a good game, right? That's all Disney cares about, is making their little shindig of money.
Oh, you know what reminds me of, like, Fortnite Kids reminds me of? I don't remember his name, but it's the video of, like, makes you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. That's how I feel with Fortnite players.
Dude, I sometimes miss Kmart. Not gonna lie.
I do too. Kmart and Sears were the shit.
Sometimes I miss Kmart.
But I will admit, like, Fortnite is, like, has its moments with me. Like, where it's a really good game. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a good, like, the season's great.
Even Fortnite's like, okay, this is going on way too long, I feel like. But it's still a really good game, though.
For what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally a cartoon game for kids. They can really just shoot stuff. It's the most perfect game in the entire world.
Or you can do, like the music festival thing or whatever it's called, and Lego Fortnite.
That's my point, is they're adding so much into it now. That's like, this is literally the most perfect game in the entire world. But I hate it at the same time.
I know. It's a good game. I have a love-hate relationship with that game.
For real. That happened kind of recently.
Back like when it first came out, like that Drift season or like the Omega season is like when I really got into the game. Like, this game is so fun. Like, it's the best game I've played. Like, best battle royale. Like, it's better than PUBG. It's better than what's H1Z1.
Dude, H1Z1 was the
It sure was. And then another popular game or battle royale came out, and we both love it very dearly.
Oh, 5 years ago now, man.
Apex Legends, I will say, is the best battle royale game.
It really is.
Change my mind.
Even though they have so many bugs with it every now and then, every single update, especially for PC users. We're on console, so it's fine for us. But there's so many bugs with it, man, though. But it's such a good game.
It is such a good battle royale, and I think it's the best one.
Dude, if they literally just fixed their cheater issues, the game would be perfect for PC players. Mm-hmm. That's all they're missing out on.
Yeah.
Because did you know for PC players, you can't turn off cross-platform?
Really?
Yeah, you can't turn off cross-plat.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, you can't turn off crossplay. So for PC players, and again, skill-based matchmaking. So people in pred lobbies and, smurfing accounts, it's literally just all cheaters. Basically, that's most of what it is. Or it's console players and, people who really is in a completely different skill ranking than the higher up players, like pro players. Mm-hmm. If Respawn fixed that issue, that game would be a whole lot better, even just for us too. Mm-hmm. But that game is such in a good state right now, though. It would be very easy to ruin it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see. At least they don't try to compete. I think it's nice about them is that they don't try to. How should I word this? They don't try to pull things together. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They don't do like what Fortnite does. They don't like merge with other companies. Like, Apex doesn't merge with Star Wars. Like, they don't merge with Avatar.
That's why I like Respawn though. It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. Like, yes, it's cool that they do it. I feel like games that should really only do like mergers, like, what would you call it besides merging?
A merger?
Would you really call that a merger?
Association?
Association, sure. Like, Rocket League is a great game for that, in my opinion.
A co-op?
No, I'm thinking
cooperative?
Kind of. I mean like collaboration. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
I feel like Rocket League is a great game for collaborations.
Rocket League's the cheese.
It was. It's lost its moment. And then for the pictures, I posted it in the Discord under the events tab because I didn't know where else to put it. Because I didn't think it would be like good under general. or the feedback tab. But what's your opinion on that? Should I move it somewhere else?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But we're going on in an hour and almost 11 minutes. And then, is there anything else you want to add?
I know that's all today.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate everything that you do for us, and we're happy to do it. And we hope you guys have a good one. Peace.
Love you guys. Much love.
Love you. Bye. Wah, wah, wah. Wah.
Do you like Jesus Christ?
No.
He's not gonna go for you.
Yeah, because I'm gay.
What the fuck?